And the likes of this man was saying yesterday, which was on Wednesday, that tomorrow, which is today, on Thursday, watakuja kuenda town na wavuruge na waende paka police station wavuruge kila mahali. We all thought it was a joke, but what has gone down today was so terrifying. Like, people were protesting so much so that the entire city CBD yote ilikuwa ina shake. Now let's go step by step. Let's kwanza listen to this guy, the way he was saying, because the youths are so angry. There are some even who are saying that they are going to lynch MPs. Some are, you know, kwanza nisiende ahead of me. Let's listen to this guy first.
The Thursday showdown is almost here, and it is going to be a showdown on Thursday. That is going to be a shutdown because you people are not listening to us. Number one, we want the resignation and the arrest of somebody called Eliud Lagat, who is the Deputy Inspector General. Listen, this wave is not going to spare anybody who does not have any regards to human life. Eliud Lagat orchestrated the arrest of an innocent boy, and the innocent boy ended up dead in a cell. Listen, that is something which even the ICC, hiyo ni maneno kwanza, hata ICC needs to uptake it because this is serious. A boy was just murdered in the most secure place that somebody can be, in a cell. We are no longer safe. Therefore, we want the resignation and the arrest of the Deputy Inspector General, Eliud Lagat.
Now that you have listened to this man, everything he just said came to fruit today. Ukiangalia hapa, these are two vehicles that are burning. Also, the rest of the city CBD is burning and is shaking. Why? The way people are demonstrating. They came out in large numbers, and they are only asking for two things. Eliud Lagat, the man you see here, to be put in jail, and also for him to resign before he is put in jail. And after that, huyu mwenye unaona hapa, who goes by the name IG Douglas Kanja, who is the Inspector General of the police force in this country, also to resign. They also want this man you see here, who is working in the DCI Directorate of Criminal Investigation. He is the leader, the head of that fraternity. They want him also to resign, and they are saying that he is lying when it comes to all these things that occurred. Anajaribu kuficha how this DCI, the four men who picked Albert Ojang from Homa Bay all the way to Nairobi, in between what happened and all this, ni kama anajaribu kufunika. So let's listen to this man.
Eliud Lagat was present when Ojang was being tortured for 26 hours. If that is true, we do not understand why the games or the gymnastics ama vile vipindi that we are being treated to by those in power. Amin, who is also in charge of the intelligence, director of criminal investigations. Huyo na yeye pia ukimwangalia akiongea kuna yale anajua anatufisha. Na Wakenya sio wajinga tena. These are not the days where people will not be able to see through you. Who removed this young man in the middle of the night from a police station? Alipelekwa wapi? Gari yenye ilimtoa inaweza kuwaje police station mzima hawezi wakatupatia nambari ya hiyo gari? Who are the occupants? Who can remove a person from police custody in the middle of the night or in the wee hours of the night? It can only be askari. So this to me is actually a state-sponsored killing. And it is not isolated. They killed the Genzs last year. They have continued the killing until now they have killed Albert.
By the way, it is very true. Ukiangalia the way the DCI boss, when he was talking, ukiangalia body language yake, something is not adding up. I'm not going into that because mimi sina lawyer. Wacha ninyamazia hapa. I know even if he is a Somali guy, I won't be spared because I'm, one of his people. Kenya ni danger sahi. Now tuachie hiyo huko. But here is the thing. Before I show you this guy unaona hapa who goes by the name Polo Kimani, a very famous guy by the way who got Twitter, that he is threatening MPs, you know, anasema we are going to leech you, you know, and leeching a MP is not a joke. Before I show you, nataka nikuambie kwanza that Albert Ojang dying in police cell. Imagine nyinyi mnaona tu sahi, police have been harassing, you know, people who are protesting peacefully ever since, you know, like for a very long time. Ukiangalia hapa, for example, this video you see here, before sijakuonyesha, let me talk about this video. Look at the way that police is slapping, you know, a citizen who is protesting peacefully. Jamaa anakuislap, anakubeba kama mtoto, anakutupa ndani ya gari, and you can't say nothing because he is dressed in uniform. So you just accept and say, okay. Now, this thing has been in front of our eyes. It is just that Albert Ojang, yani akona kai spirit, unaona, like there is something, you know, that was following him that imefanya the whole of Kenya ichemuke. But Genzis have been harassed and killed na watafute for a very long time. Hiyo tunajua. So let's watch this video of Polo Kimani.
And in my case, this is just me exercising my freedom of speech. We are going to lynch you. Tutawachoma. The only layer that exists, the only thing that is preventing us from doing so, it's the police. But the way things are going right now, even the fairness respect we have for these buggers, the police, it's gone. Zukama and say Migori, when I'm later Nairobi, they kill him in a cell, put him in a mortuary. And nothing is done. Where's the respect in that? We are going to start with the police. And you can tell me about that, we're trying to do, can they deal with 45 million people? We are going to start with the police. Then we're going to come for you. That bubble that you think you're in right now, of security and that nonsense, tutawakujia. And you think this is, you can't mess out how close you are to getting clinched on 25th July. Some of you are running away with ambulances. Some of you, sijui choppers in the underground tunnel. We are going to come for you. Tuliwachagua to represent, but you have decided to choose the money. Nyinyi na wewe kasongo wenu. You have sold your souls to the devil. Nyinyi and that devil, we are going to lynch you all. Na tusisikia story ya morality. Nataka kusikia story ya morality sasa. Where's the morality right now? When people are being killed, kidnapped, beaten to death, none of you, not even one of you has spoken. Hatutaki kusikia story ya morality hiyo, right? We tutafunga Jogoro, tutafunga Mombasa, tutafunga Thika. We are going to come for you all. Believe, you know this is coming, and this only ends in one way. You can kill 1,000, 2,000, but mutakuwa funzo, mbwa nyinyi.
Now that you have heard what Polo Kimani has said and the protest and everything, there are two people, this man you see here and also this man you see here. They think that the death of Albert Ojang was strategic. Na sio kitu ya hivi ati just because he posted something, you know, like from standard yenye wamepost akapost and then, you know, something like that, you know, he thinks hii kitu are very strategic. Let's listen to these two people. Alafu tuambie kwa comment section, do you think the death of Albert Ojang was strategic and they wanted him to die in broad daylight to see whether the Luo people or the Raila Odinga, you know, tribes are going to react and all this, or you think that Albert Ojang akona kai spirit imefanya hii Kenya saa hii ishake venye iko kushake? Tell us in the comment section.
It is not because it was an accident that Ojang was picked or chosen to be the sacrificial lamb. It was very well thought out. I've stopped thinking about Ruto as just someone who is doing everything wrong and it is happening because he's powerless or is not in a position to control everything. Ruto is in a position of control, power, and everything that is happening, it is well calculated and meant to serve a certain narrative. For starters, we are in June, when the budget is about to be read. We know what happened in June last year. And if your mind is not too far off forgetting, we had the cost of living riot that happened in 2023. People died. In 2024, people died. And when I say people, I mean the Gen Z died. All right? Now, Ruto has brought in Raila Odinga into the broad-based government. He has brought in his people and he's feeding them very well. And they are all saying it is time to eat. The last person who was to be brought in was Orengo after Anyang' Nyong'o issued a letter. Anyang' Nyong'o was at State House. Now, the president wanted to test whether the Luo Nyanza is in his pocket and whether he has actually domineered and dominated and completely made Raila to submit to him. In other words, he wanted to test whether he has subdued Raila Odinga and the Nyanza region. He wanted to know whether the Luos will rise up during the death of the chosen sacrificial lamb, and by so doing, he was testing waters to see if Luos are with him, and if even a Luo is killed, whether they will rise up. And he made it very clear that the person responsible for the death of Ojang, it was going to be someone from his community. All right? And he wanted to know whether Kisumu riot. Unfortunately, only one gentleman rioted in Kisumu, and that is I Am Chege, who is called Genz. He calls himself I Am Chege on X. He's very vocal. He was in Kisumu demonstrating alone. The Kisumu we know, which has been at the forefront for generations in where matters governance and human rights is concerned, is silent up to now. Nakuru is responding always when one of them is taken or hurt. This is the second time they are rioting in their streets. We saw riots in Embu, and you've seen riots in Nairobi. But Kisumu, apparently, it's silent. So was Albert Ojang's choice an accident or random or well planned and well executed? I want to go with the latter. It was well executed. He was taken illegally from his family in a matter that is civil, not criminal. And his father was told, come to Nairobi and come back with the body. I think the father did not take much out of those discussions that those askaris said, but they were on a mission. They knew what they wanted to do. They had planned this to the smallest detail. And this is not about DIG, my people. This is not about an innocent young man being killed and dying in a police station. The government wanted you to know that they can take someone from Kisumu, bring him, or rather from Nyanza, and bring him to Nairobi without court authorization for intercounty exchange or transfer. And they kill him and put him in the cell. Register that he has come into the cell sick. And make sure that you know without a doubt that the police killed one of us. And see what the worst you can do. And remember, this is before the budget. So he was looking for all of us to rise up, go to the streets. Or he was expecting that we will not rise up, we will not go to the street, and will do nothing. And that will show him that he has indeed subdued Kenyans by the killings that have happened in the past and the abductions. So he wanted to test the theory, whether abductions of last year worked, and it scared the Gen Z to go to the streets. And indeed, he has proven that that was right. He also wanted to know how you will respond during the budget. And he now knows that the budget will be read, I think tomorrow. It will be passed, and Kenyans will do nothing. Because Ojang was a sacrificial lamb to test the willingness and the commitment and the attitude and the mindset of Kenyans during these times. And remember, they did it knowing well that there's an anniversary coming of the deaths of Kenyans who died during the Gen Z demonstrations. So there is it. It wasn't an accident. Ojang's death was well planned. Ojang's death was to test the waters. Whether Nyanza will rise up against Ruto, or number two, whether the Gen Z spirit has been crushed, and number three, whether the budget reading will bring any chaos in this country. And all the theories are proved that indeed Ruto has Nyanza, Ruto has subdued the Gen Zs and the Kenyan spirit. They can't demonstrate, they can't do nothing. And it has shown, number three, that the budget will be read and there will be no uprising like in 2024. Now, he has the entire country on his grips. And that, my people, is my hypothesis. I hope I'm wrong.
I'm not buying that theory. Why did the top leadership of Kenya Police, why were they so quick to interdict the police officers who are at the police station? You know, the guys who arrested Albert. It doesn't make sense. And the only reason I feel the guys who arrested Albert were not interdicted was because they were being protected by the top cops. You cannot tell me a cell sentry, knowing very well that if anything goes wrong in that cell, they'll be held liable, would go inside, beat up Albert. No. See, I was a police officer and I am a police officer still by training, and I work there for some time. And there is no way I'm getting into the cell and beating. I know it will come back to bite me. Who will do that? I have a theory. I don't think the guys who are at the police station beat up that guy. I don't think so. It's a theory. I don't think so. Their biggest mistake, and that is what is going to take them down, their biggest mistake was not recording when that guy came in. I have a feeling he was in the cells and he had not been recorded. So they decided to write an OB much later when they saw the guy was either sick, very sickly, or dead. They decided to write at that time. Yeah. And especially if you are a young police officer and you are the cell sentry. I don't think those guys were young, but you are the cell sentry and you're being told that ule jamaa ameletwa juu ya mdosi wa si mdosi wako. This is the second most powerful person in Kenya police. Ukweli ukiambiwa ati akae hapo bila kuandikwa kwa OB kidogo utasita but utakubali. So I have a feeling walimweka but venye waliambiwa either amegenya au he was too sickly. They decided to write in the OB. Otherwise, I have a feeling that guy came in extremely sick or beaten up or he had been tortured. I wonder how those cell sentry did not record that, because I am not going down. I am me. I'm not going down on your behalf, Bana. Or if he was not, he came, he was brought in at that 9:20, and then the DCI guys took him away and went with him and brought him back at that 2 a.m. having been tortured. And I would want to see that OB if they are saying he had marks of torture or he was sickly or something. Otherwise, my friends, me, I'm writing what I'm seeing. Kazi ya OB inakuwa kuandika kile unaambiwa na kile unaona. Uwezi record mtu amekuja kwa cell na unamweka kwa cell akiwa unaona kwa hali mahututi. Uwezi, bro, uwezi. Sioni polisi mwenye anayefanya hivyo. So those are the two theories. That guy was brought in very sickly and these guys were told not to write in the OB, or they were ordered not to write, or he was brought to Central, he was never booked, he was taken out again by the DCI, and he was brought back again at 2 a.m. That is my theory. So the first person I am arresting, the first person or I am interdicting are the people who arrested that fella. We got to stop at some place and say one death is too much. One death is too we have honestly we've normalized this and it's not right, it's not okay. No, apana. It's not right. It's not right. And it's not even more painful because the father lost the only child. It's painful because this guy had committed almost an nonsensical offense. Yes, it's an offense in the law, but my goodness, this is such a small crime. It's such a small crime. Hii hata unaenda unapigwa faini ya 50 Gs.